Hey everybody, welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? First of all, last time on the Let's Play of Final Fantasy, we take care of the Earth Fiend, and we made our way to Crescent Lake in order to find out that the Fire Fiend has now been risen from its slumber. And now we need to make our way to Mount Gulg, or the Gulg volcano from the Nintendo era, to take care of the Fire Fiend. But we also got another interesting tool. We got the canoe, and this is... I actually got it wrong, I think, in an earlier part where I said that the canoe provides no encounters on the water. That is not true. Having no encounters in the middle of transportation didn't come until much later. We will actually get it in this game, but it will be from a more familiar source, not from a ship or from a canoe. We'll still have to deal with that. So right now we are making our way to the Gulg volcano, or Mount Gulg, as it's known in this game. And it's just a slow process of going through the channels and getting attacked every now and then. Yeah. So while we are making our way, just to give a quick update on what I've been playing in the last little bit, I finally beat Bayonetta. I gotta say, I still love the game. I think the ending was appropriate. I think the overall game was great. I can't wait for Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. That's going to be one of the bigger titles that I'm excited for on that platform. And yeah, I loved it. And I found it actually really amazing that it is such a Devil May Cry clone. Well, that would make sense considering who did it. Because Hideki Kamiya, it was involved in the Devil May Cry games for the first one, I believe, and then went off and did Bayonetta with Platinum Games. So there's a similarity. But yeah, I enjoyed the game. Alright, so we are here at Mount Gulg, and if people haven't already kind of figured this out, we've had the first introduction of damage tiles. Yes, if you step on a specific tile of ground, you will get damaged for it. And it varies from game to game. I think I've said in the Phantasy Star 2 Let's Play, it's exactly 1 HP from all your characters. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's, big numbers or small numbers. But usually, hazard tiles will be brought in some way, shape, or form. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good implementation. But in the meantime, I also will try and go and get some treasure in this dungeon. Some I'm going to regret. In fact, this upcoming chest I'm going to regret because it just didn't turn out to be a good item. But yes, there are actually a couple of really good items that will tide me over until I can get better ones. And that's actually one of the cool parts about these games, is that eventually the stuff you find in the dungeons will be way better than the stuff you can buy. And you'll rely on that more. And that makes sense. That eventually you would stop buying stuff. Later Final Fantasies don't do that well. But that's something that makes sense. Eventually you would come across armor or weapons that are so enchanted that nothing made by a shopkeeper would be worthwhile anymore. Obviously, I'm getting attacked left and right. Now, this one I don't think I can actually escape because it was right next to the chest. So it's kind of a trap. Trap or a test. Earn your worth. Prove your worth. Something like that. I don't know. But in the meantime, back to what I've been playing the last... little bit since part 5. I think I also said this, that I did complete God of War 3. Loved how that series ended. I'm not going to pick up Ascension right off the bat. I actually went to the next Assassin's Creed game to finish out the Ezio trilogy. And I gotta say, I wasn't a big fan of Brotherhood. And Revelations actually has an interesting story from what I've played, which isn't much. I do like the fact that Ezio went to Turkey, or went to Istanbul to find Altair's library, and I do like the fact that he's kind of cynical as an old man. It makes sense given what he's seen. I don't know, it just felt to me like Brotherhood was hashed together. Like, they built this whole multiplayer thing and then realized, oh wait, this is an Assassin's Creed game, we have no story. And therefore had to go fix that. And that always seemed kind of foolish to me. But Revelations, even though it does have a multiplayer component to it, it still feels like, yeah, it was a good game. It's a good game overall. I'm only, I want to say about a third of the way into the game, but I'm enjoying it. But since I have beaten Bayonetta, I'm actually going back into the, I want to compare it to an actual Devil May Cry game, so I'm digging out my favorite of the Devil May Cry series, DMC3, and seeing if it holds up, if they're just as outlandish as each other. I would be interested to see if they are. Another game that I picked up is that recently released. I know, right? I actually am unwrapping a game at release time. I couldn't wait, and it was simply because the latest Ace Attorney game is out, and I'm a big fan of the Ace Attorney games. I love them. I have played all of them, including I don't know why it's not considered part of the Ace Attorney timeline, but Ace Attorney Investigations, the offshoot with Miles Edgeworth. I enjoyed that, and I'm not that far into the first case in Ace Attorney 5, but I am enjoying the living crap out of it. I love the new character, Athena Sykes, and I love that Phoenix is back. You know, don't get me wrong, I have no major problem with Apollo Justice. I like Phoenix better. And so I like the fact that I can, you know, Apollo's still in it, and I think Apollo's a good character, but Phoenix is in it, and not just as a passerby mentor kind of thing. He is legitimately in it, and I like the voice. I'm one of the few people that I've talked to that has actually enjoyed the new voice for Phoenix. I enjoy it. I think it works. I didn't have a problem with it in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I don't have a problem with it in Ace Attorney 5, so we'll see if I have the same opinion later on. But back to Mount Gold. I'm just trying to fill the time, guys, because these dungeons are long. But we're actually almost to the Fire Fiend. In fact, I think we're 1 or 2 floors away. And you'll notice I've just kind of made a clear dart to the end of each floor, because I may stop here and there to get an item, but it has to be worth the time that it would take to get there, and the round of encounters that I'd have to go through in order to get it. So it's not that I'm just being picky. There's a reason to it. Oh no, a lava worm. It's times like these that I kind of regret using like basic spells, but basic spells are single target. And at this point, I don't really have enough charges to justify not... Well, maybe I do. I have like 30, so we'll start using them. See if we can do a little bit more damage. Really, I mean, with the magic, I mainly use that for grinding because it hits multiple enemies, and it's more worth it to me to do that. But like in boss fights, I will rely more on Bartz and Yang to get the job done. More fire lizards. Everything fire-based. Who would have thought that in a volcano? I always laughed at this as a kid. I'm like, okay, in order to free the fire crystal, you go into a freaking volcano. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, it's not like we're gonna get melted by extreme heat or anything like that. No. It's Final Fantasy. That couldn't possibly happen. Oh, look. Hellhounds in a volcano. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other games that I've been playing recently that I haven't told you guys about. I'm still working on Skyward Sword. I've been told I'm probably about halfway through that story, and I am enjoying it. The only problem that I'm having is motion control just let me have a controller, Nintendo. Like, there is a Wii U title coming. We know there is. Let me have the option of a controller, please. I get you want to do motion control. Please just let me have the choice. Because obviously there will be somebody that will want to play motion control. I don't. Just give me the choice. Get off my high horse now. I'm still working on Mass Effect 2. Not really any major movement there. I actually had to restart the game because I screwed it up. And I wanted to be able to get a good ending. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing, aside from Ace Attorney 5. Ace Attorney 5 is easy to do because, you know, I can take my 3DS on the go and play while I'm at school, play while I'm waiting for something to be done at work. But... And also, if people didn't notice, we actually got an interesting item out of this chest. I believe we're going to start using it. And that was the Ice Brand. So this is the first kind of elemental-based weapon and shield that we'll start using. So the Flame Shield should reduce fire-based damage for Bartz, even though he really wasn't taking much damage to begin with. And then the Ice Brand would be an ice-based weapon, and therefore would hurt even more in Mount Gulg. It's also just a very good upgrade. But I think that's it on this floor, and then I'm going to make it to the next floor, and I want to say we've got one floor left after this. I might be wrong about that, but I think so. Okay, this is actually the last floor, so we've got one pit stop to make on this floor because there is a piece of armor that would help out Bartz. And I think that's all we grab, and then we'll go and take on the Fire Fiend. In the meantime, since we've been taking a lot of damage from the hazard tiles, you know, this is the time to heal. And also, if people hadn't noticed with the white magic, we actually don't need a church anymore because we finally got the life spell. So now we don't need to worry about that. And if only we could just get some kind of an exit spell. I mean, seriously. In the dungeons like this, we don't have to worry about that too much. But in dungeons that don't have, like, an end to them, or they have an end but not a teleport tile at the end, kind of like what you saw with the Earth Fiend, it gets frustrating. Because you have to make your way all the way out of the dungeon. But we will have a fix to that soon, I think. If I could just stop getting attacked, that would be awesome. Oh, Red Dragon. No, not the one based off, not the movie based off of Hannibal Lecter. Hello, Clarice. Strangely enough, I've never seen either movie. I've heard enough to know I don't want to see it. I like Anthony Hopkins. I don't want to see him in that light. I really don't. Alright, so we got the Flame Mail. And the Flame Mail is optimal for Bartz, so we'll equip that right away. And more lizards. Jiminy Christmas. Okay, so this is the last detour we had to make, so now we're going to make our way to the Fire Crystal. And I promise, I have nothing bad to say about the crystal this time. I like the way it looks. Pretty sure there's somebody out there that did not appreciate the poop crystal joke, but, you know, that's what it looked like. Okay, so this is the door leading to the fire crystal. Just gonna make sure our health is okay. Final heal towards everybody. If not to bring them up to full health, close enough. Okay, full health. Sometimes I'm sparing, sometimes I'm not. And here we go. The Earth Fiend is gone. Who disturbs Marilith's slumber? So this is the Fire Fiend, Marilith. The power of fire is mine alone. Those who dare disturb me shall burn. Alright, so this is the Fire Fiend. I actually think is one of the better sprites of them. And right now we don't need to heal anybody, so... And we're also going to buff up both Bartz and Yang because they're going to be doing a lot of damage. And I want to make sure that they're guaranteed first hit. Wow, Yang, a whole 3 HP. Stop yourself before you do something crazy. And now Bart should hurt a little bit more. There we go, 500. Keep going, Yang. You'll have her down in 1,000 turns. Ooh, big hit to Vivi. So we'll have to take care of that next round. But first of all, we need haste to Yang. And another 300 from Bartz. So we know that the 500 was a crit. And quick, heal Vivi. And now steal to Yang. He's getting better. 500, another crit, and Marilith is down. Yeah, she doesn't... She only has slightly more than Lich in HP, I think. And that'll be kind of the trend for every enemy, or every Fiend that we take on. But this is 2 crystals down! Yay, we got some experience and some gil, yay! And now we have to have our little moment. Oh no, the crystal's dying. We must show it its baby! And that perked it right up. And now we must do our dance of justice. Welcome to 16-bit sprite emotions. Okay, and so now we can make our way all the way over here and get the exit tile. And yay, we're done. That's 2 crystals, boys and girls. Now, unfortunately, we don't go right to the next crystal. We actually will need to take some time and do a few more errands. After all, the crystal problem is not the only problem. That didn't heal us up all the way, but it was enough to get our charges back. But now we're actually not going to make our way back to Crescent Lake. We've got one more errand to do in this area. We're going to go find the Ice Cavern and go claim an item that is there that we need. That we need for a really cool new item. I'm not going to spoil it, because it's always fun. I also love these river battles. It's not that you're fighting in the boat. No, you somehow made it to dry land, and then you're taking the monsters on, just so you didn't hurt the canoe. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, Square Enix. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. So I will be making a stop over to Crescent Lake because there is no avenue to get to the Ice Cavern from this end. We actually have to go in through another canal. And holy moly, VB is going to die. Don't die, VV! We appreciate you even though we don't show it. Okay, and then one more turn, and here we are. We are at Crescent Lake again. We can return the Conquering Heroes. Not yet. 2 more crystals, and then we're the Heroes of Light. Not just the Warriors of Light, we're the Heroes of Light. They're somewhere out in the YouTube community that I'm just confusing right now. But before then, we're going to go ahead and hit the inn and actually get a full restore. Yeah, I thought cottages did that in this game. I'm apparently thinking of later games where they actually are a full restore. Not like the later 16-bit games where they said, oh, there's really no point in making a more expensive one. We'll just make tents and they're the instant restore for everything. We'll just make them super expensive. Yeah, Squaresoft, you really didn't plan that out when people like me came into the equation, did you? Where I can grind endlessly and just be immensely rich. More encounters, more encounters. And while we're making our way, just out of curiosity, just for, I would like to get some commentary on this. So, you know, given the day that this is going to be coming out, we're now at Halloween. So if people have any special plans that you're going to be doing, like Halloween parties, special Halloween traditions that your family does, I'd love to hear them. For me, it's more like we sit back, relax, we go trick-or-treating with, you know, the kids that my family has at the moment, and then we just dig out some good movies. Most of them are like movies we grew up with as kids. In my case, one of them is, well, a bad movie, I'll admit it. Van Helsing is bad, but I do like watching it around Halloween, just for the heck of it. I also like watching, like, Hellboy. It seems appropriate this time of the year. The other thing I also like to do is go into, like, the canon of video games of Halloween or horror-themed games and just dig one out. You know, dig a series that I liked back in the day, whether or not I like them now, and just, you know, maybe watch a Let's Play of it. For example, I love the Castlevania games. I love Devil May Cry. I'm not going to be doing that with Devil May Cry this year just because I've been playing Bayonetta. The Legacy of Kain series, I love doing that. I do know somebody actually was asking me if I liked the new idea for Nosgoth. I don't know yet. The fact that it seems like it's going to be it's going to be a MOBA or a multiplayer online battle arena, so it's like League of Legends or Dota. I don't know. I'll have to see more of it. I was kind of hoping to, because they'd rumored it for a while. They were talking about doing a Legacy of Kain game that would bridge the first Legacy of Kain with the second, and telling the raising of the character Raziel and showing him as a vampire, not as what he becomes in the game Soul Reaver. Just to show him being a loyal lieutenant of the vampire Kain. I would love to get that, personally. That'd be a great idea to me. But somebody apparently thinks they know better. So we're getting Nosgoth. But yeah, games like that, or I occasionally do like to take out the original PlayStation Resident Evil. And for people who don't understand why I want to do that, go listen to it and you'll find out why. Holy moly, the dialogue in that movie, or in that game, is terrible. And you just laugh your butt off at it. I even have a couple of sound bites just here and there, you know, Jill, don't be angry. Or my favorite one of the intro movie, no, don't go! Yeah, that's acting at its finest, boys and girls. I especially liked, I never saw I think it was the fourth Resident Evil movie, but they actually had the main characters read the dialogue from the first game. That was pretty entertaining. I need to go dig it out again, maybe put a link of it on this part, but that dialogue is just so terrible. Alright, and this is actually the Ice Cavern. We're actually not going to go into it this part. Next week we'll get into it. But in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and take a break for the week. Once again, I am Drak. Thank you for watching this Let's Play of Final Fantasy for the PlayStation. And next week we take on the Ice Cavern. See you then.